Hey ladies and gents, it's Zembak. We are doing the SU-130PM versus Skorpion G. Skorpion G has been the favorite go-to Tier 8 premium tank in this game since it came out. Has a lot to do with the fact that with its turret on it, and yeah, and all that kind of stuff with the 357 matchmaker. You see a lot of Skorpion Gs running around for a reason. However, we have a contender now for the best Tier 8 premium TD in the game. I could argue both ways between these two. I actually prefer the Strev over both of these just because of its versatility and able to do what it does on hills and all that kind of stuff. And of course, it's ridiculous pen compared to these two. However, we're going to make since the Skorpion G I do believe is the most played Tier 8 premium TD, at least for sure. We're going to make this contender here for the SU-130PM, the comparison between these two. Really, on paper, they are pretty fucking close, right? Really, actually, pretty decent here. And what makes these TDs? And since these both are glass cannons, you will get shot by HE and you will get wrecked. I've one-shot both of these tanks with artillery, and I've been one-shotted by artillery in both of these tanks. So, like I said, glass cannon. Of course, it's live and die by not getting spotted. And that's going to be the big difference between these two when we get to the comparison, which is, in my opinion, going to be the better of the two. And it's not by much, folks. These two tanks are so close to each other, it's not even funny. AP round, well, let's talk about the shell types they both carry. The AP round for the SU-130PM has a little bit less pen than the Rheinmetall Skorpion G, and we'll look at that in the comparison. However, the heat round on this tank is 320 for the SU-130, and it's only 311, which is APCR for the Rheinmetall Skorpion G. So now you can make that, which one do you prefer? A lot of times the APCR, in my opinion, is better than the heat round. However, you can make the heat round work if you have to. It's one of those deals, heat versus APCR. Generally, I prefer APCR, but, we got a heat round. You got to do what you got to do with it. The HE round on both of them are 65 pen. So, yeah, not too shabby. Crew training. This tank, actually, the SU-130PM, does train the high-tier Russian TDs. The Skorpion G doesn't. It lacks crew members. It only has 4. The Grill and the Jagdpanzer E-100, of course, has more than 4. So, if you're training up crews or trying to train your crews, you're always leaving at least 1 or 2 guys out. Using a Skorpion G, where you won't have to do that with the SU-130PM, the crews match up pretty well. So, once again, slight edge to the SU-130PM, at least for a crew trainer-wise. Not too shabby. Credit earnings exactly the same. You get a 3,000 plus K, 3,500 plus. You're going to make 100,000 credit on both of these tanks. Survivability and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, we're just going to jump over the comparison, and we're going to actually look at which one of these is the better tank. So, comparison I got is set up. Essentially, I've set them up both ways, which is a concealment of Brothers in Arms with a binocs, a camo net, and of course a large caliber gun rammer. You can set up this whatever you want. You might want to put an enhanced gun laying drive on them. Both of them have pretty quick aim times. Obviously it does help with that. Concealment, glass cannons, you probably want to try to keep as much as you can. And I also have paint on both of them, and like I said, with the crew concealment, yeah, these things get pretty stealthy. One slightly, shouldn't say slightly, maybe just Russian bias, maybe more than that. So, like I said, both of these are set up the same way: 100% crews with 2 skills, and of course all the equipment. And I think typically most people set their TDs up this way. I don't necessarily do, depending on the TD that I'm driving. Some of the more heavily armed ones, I would never put a camo net on. But hey, and the same way with binocs, depending on what kind of crew skills I have on. So, like I said, it's all changeable depending on what you're driving and how you're driving it. So, let's look at like I said, the comparison between the two, which is kind of interesting. 516, or I should say 490 versus 520, 246 versus 243. Slight edge to the Skorpion G. Obviously, slightly bit more pen. Now, what's interesting about these guns is that the Skorpion G kind of lacks when it comes to shell velocity. It's about 920 meters a second for the Skorpion G, where the 130 PMs is about 1,030, or yeah, roughly. So it's about 110 meters a second slower with the Skorpion G, and that, you do notice it too. Skorpion G looks like you kind of lob the shell. SU-130 PM's a little bit closer to what an actual fucking German gun should be like, right? Kind of laser accurate and super fast shell, but we don't get that in the Skorpion G. The Russians get it instead in the SU-130 PM. Yay! Rate of fire, of course, goes to the Skorpion G, as well as the reload time and all that kind of fun stuff. However, the Skorpion G does have a slight edge. What I mean by slight, we're talking 15 difference in average damage per minute. Aim times pretty close to both are the same, and of course slightly more accurate with the Skorpion G, 0.28 versus 0.33. But it is a Russian gun, so fuck it. Dispersion means nothing for the Russians. Just full bloom it. You got her right there. Gun depression 7 degrees versus 7 degrees. However, the elevation it's surprising. It's only 14 degrees for the Skorpion G, where the 130 gets 37. So you're thinking, wow, that doesn't really matter that much, Sam. Well, it does sometimes. You're working on the side of a hill. You're shooting from one valley to the side of the other valley, and you're down on the side of it. Skorpion G can't do it. You are literally fucked. With these SU-130 with almost well over double, you can pull off, you can get on the side of a slope and shoot across, that kind of stuff. Once again, the difference between 0.28 and 0.33, you change that up, put a little bit of whatever you want to put, food or consumables on there, you can get these two pretty close to each other. But with that shell, the shell velocity, sometimes it seems like the SU-130 PM is probably a little bit more accurate. Obviously with the shell moving as fast as it does, helps out. So at least gun handling stat-wise, the Skorpion G has a slight edge, especially with the average damage per minute and all that kind of stuff. Hit points, 1150 versus 1100, and a hull armor, non-existent on either one of them. Glass cannons, paper tanks, you never want to get spotted. When it comes to mobility, it gets a little more interesting. The SU-130 PM has, according to this, a big edge in the mobility, but the big difference is the ground resistance. The Skorpion G is better. When you get these two side by side in kind of the Skorpion G will edge it out speed-wise, not top-end wise, but it does get to the, if you're heading to a spot, both of you at the same time on similar same ground, the Skorpion G will edge it out probably by 10 meters. Same way with on a hill. It's slightly better on a hill than the SU-130 PM because of its specific horsepower to ton ratio. But yeah, the literal mobility between the two of them is with that ground clearance, with that ground resistance of the Skorpion G versus they get very, very close to each other. Yeah, the other big difference I forgot to point this out, of course, is the gun traverse. Skorpion G can reverse all the way around. The SU-130 PM only goes to 77 degrees. Might not matter to some people, but in certain situations that is an advantage, being able to point your gun over its ass, especially if you have to flee, take a shot, get out of the bush and run. SU-130 PM, you can't do that. You're pretty much just stuck facing straight forward if you want to shoot at whatever you're shooting. However, the big difference between the two of them, which being that these are both paper tanks, literally made out of wet, soggy cardboard, is the concealment, and this is where the SU-130 PM really kind of shines over the Skorpion G. 36.2 versus 54.43, and of course concealment on the move, almost double because it's Russian, right? That right there to me is probably the biggest difference. If I had to buy either and or for money purposes, just to make money, the SU-130 PM is going to win. Crew training, SU-130 PM is going to win. I still love the Skorpion G, don't get me wrong. They're both great tanks. These are both great tanks. But with that added concealment bonus, versus the Skorpion G. It's just not even a comparison. The SU-130PM is just that much more stealthy than the Skorpion G. Spotting range the same, signal range slightly better to the Skorpion G. Yeah, it's the two tanks are so similar to each other, but with that extra concealment, you know, like I said, this is with a camo net and a camo crew. It's amazing how much difference with these two are going to have. And like I said, you can set your equipment however you want. But if I'm playing one of these glass cannons or paper cannons, I don't want to be spotted. And as high as you can get the concealment up as far as you can, definitely helps. So with that said, I'm going to bring up two videos for you guys to see a little bit more of these tanks. I know I did this SU-130PM review here not that long ago. However, I wanted to bring both of this video out because most likely this tank's, you know, obviously it's going to go on sale here shortly. Or if you're still working on trying to get the missions done, if we get it for free or whatever. Versus Skorpion G, which of course will be one I'm sure will be in the advent calendar or be on sale for Christmas. If you're looking to buy either and or, I personally, for the pure money making and not nothing to do with crew training and stuff, I would say the SU-130PM does edge the Skorpion G out as one of the best Tier 8 premium TDs. You know, we can make the argument about the other ones that are also in this line. However, the SU-130PM, in my opinion, is better than the Skorpion G. Mostly did have to do with that pure massive lead in the concealment. You know, either way and or get spotted. This one's going to survive longer. It's going to be able to find the bushes. It's going to be able to stay hidden longer than the Skorpion G, which is exactly how you should be playing it anyway, versus you know, getting your ass spotted and wrecked by everything that's going to shoot at you. So I'm going to bring up two videos for you guys, and you guys can kind of check out what I'm talking about here. Alright guys, back with the first game in the SU-130PM. Yeah. You know, once again, mobility, all that kind of stuff. This tank and the Skorpion G are so similar. However, once again, it really comes down to is of the concealment on this tank, and I can't tell you how much difference this makes versus the Skorpion G, being able to stay hidden while you decimate your enemies here. So we're going to push a couple trees down here, kind of build our little hidey hole here, and we're going to back up. I would not want to try this with the Skorpion G just because of also the difference between heights. The Skorpion G is slightly taller than the, I should say slightly, it's got to be probably close to a good 2 feet taller maybe than this tank. So yeah, it makes a big difference if you're trying to pull off some of these low bushes. It's not an easy thing to do. So we pulled up here, got a couple targets coming up, looking to support both sides, and we got the 103 and the IS-2 coming around the corner here. There we go. Pick up a nice 526. And don't get me wrong, that difference between 520 versus the 490, yeah, it may 552 on the IS-2. You like to see those big numbers come off. However, sometimes it does roll down to 398. I think I've had it roll down to. But for the most part, yeah, it is nicer with that little bit bigger alpha to be able to finish off wounded tanks. You know, they're sitting right around that 500 mark. You have a much better chance of finishing them off with the 130 on this tank versus the 128 millimeter on the Skorpion G. So it does have, you know, that factor does have a little bit advantage over the Skorpion G. However, like I said, once again, it's all about the stealth with these tanks, and this tank just does it better. And I hate to say that, but it is Russian. It just does it better than the Skorpion G here. So they've pushed them back far enough. Both tanks have great mobility, so being able to reposition and get ready for the next shot is always nice there. And I'm also trying to do a mission here, so I'm a little hopefully to get the I have to kill a certain number of tanks. That's really pissing me off here. So pick up the Tiger P, put a nice 529. I've rolled all over 500 now. Yeah, already up to 1607 with this tank. So it's not too shabby here. Let's see if we can pull over here. And see, the Tiger P would like to be nice to come up and give me his cupola again, but he doesn't. Now the other side has pushed all the way to that side, and unfortunately that's not too great for us here. The Wheezy 11 and the T95 are both doing a pretty nice job here. I also have the Tiger P here, so I'm not really terribly worried about getting flanked here. However, I'm going to move back into position here and see if I can support these guys. Yeah, once again, if you like the Skorpion G, you're going to love this tank because they perform, mobility-wise, they both get around the battlefield. You're able to do this constantly, reposition, to get the shots that you need, to do the damage you need, to make the money that you need, to buy more of Wargaming shit. Yeah, that's what it does. So back up to the hill we go. And, there's still, like I said, there's still, for the most part, these tanks are still situational. Both of these, they don't do well in tight maps. I can't say they don't do well. Yes, of course, they will always, for the most part, be all right. Ooh, didn't quite get it in there fast enough. You're going to have big games on Himmelsdorf, but for the most part, these tanks don't do well on Himmelsdorf or anything that's got a, without any sort of firing lanes. You're going to get kind of screwed. However, maps like this, it works pretty decent here. So we got the Godzilla Pimp Hunter. Fuck, these guys and their names are just like, wow. So the Tiger 2, I'm kind of waiting for hopefully one of these guys to finish this off because the South has pretty much fallen and been destroyed in every possibility here. So let's see if we can pull off a bullshit right. There we go. Pick up the other SU-130PM. Now he's dead. Hopefully these guys start pushing here. And we can possibly get this finished off before we're going to have to start dealing with the other side. We're already down 3 tanks. However, we do luckily have 2 tanks that are currently alive. Ooh, I wanted to take a shot, but yeah. Where you go, buddy? Sometimes Zem's firing is not the best. That should have fucking nailed him here. So I'm going to try to pull down here. I didn't get spotted for it. Now I did. Oh, fuck you and your rocks. Yeah. Come on, where are you going, buddy? Where are you going? Trying to keep the Wheezy 132A. So now we've won this, and we've packed it back to a 9-9 match right now. So we're going to pull back up here on the top. Bushes are your friends with this tank, and it does so wonderful when you get up onto these with that stealth. You're able to pull some bullshit off like this, where he's looking, but he can, like I said, literally can't see me, and I didn't get spotted for it until, yeah, I was well off the hill. So we backed off, put a big shot into the Steyr, and we're going to see what we can do here. I got a little bit better, cover here. We are down 9-10. We are down 1 shot here. The Rheinmetall pulls, yeah. So now we are down 9-11, and come on, Rheinmetall, pull back. Trying to see if I can get a little spotting, but no, not happening. Tiger 2's with me. T95's with me. T95's pushing down. We've lost the entire other side of the map. This usually is not good. This kind of stuff is not good because of the fact that they've got the vision control, and they're also now here on cap. So we're going to pull out. I need to get away. I need to find a bush. Bushes are your friends, and we got the Wheezy 132. He's down there spotting that FV 4202 here. See if I can get up here and give him a hand. There's the FV 4202. He's pushed into that there, which is fine because we're just going to pull back. Pick up the Rheinmetall. He's backing up. Where are you going, buddy? Oh, some Russian accuracy for you. There's the Steyr. Probably should have killed him, but you know what? I like to put some damage into that, the Rheinmetall. That one doesn't worry so much. He does have some pretty decent... ooh, there we go. Back up, buddy. Back up. And I'm still, like I said, I'm unspotted. Like I said, with that nice, very nice camo rating, you can pull a lot of this stuff off here. So the T95's picked up the FV. Let's see here. Can I put it in the back of his head? Yep, put it in the back of his head. And now I'm up to 2 kills. I do believe I need 3, is what my mission. No, 4, I think. I needed to get 4 kills and like 4,000 damage or something like that. So I got, we got 2 there, or 3 there, and we're gonna back up here and see if we can finish off. We got 2. It's a 3-on-3. However, we are not looking so hot because we do not have that. We do not have that eyes anymore here. So we pick up the Rhine medal here. What are you doing, buddy? Okay, he stayed back. T95's like, nah, get your shit out of here. He nails him. And the Conway has been spotted over the hill on the bottom side. However, Conway can be dangerous. You know, frontally against the T95, no, he's not going to win. However, he can still fuck it up, track the T95, get to its side of the turret and all that kind of stuff, especially if he knocks out our Tiger 2 here. So, I have no idea what's coming here. Skorpion was spotted on the far side of the map here. I'm just more curious about making sure we don't get too far away from cap without having some cover. It always seems how we lose games. Those guys are starting to migrate that way. Oh, there we go. Now, if I had to rely on these guys getting down here to get this cap covered, it would have been hard for them to do it. Especially the T95, I don't think he could have made it down here. So, let's go. Once again, great mobility of these tanks, Skorpion G and this SU. Now, I don't get that close because I don't want him to know that I'm coming, so I'm not going to let him proxy spot me. I'm going to come around the corner here at a far angle all the way around. There we go. And we're going to finish him off. He's still looking up there. Yeah. So, on the run, Conway is, of course, not been spotted. He's on the far side here. And we are sitting 3 versus 1. So let's see what we can do here. Great mobility. Up the hill we go. And we got the T95 rolling down slowly but surely to the enemy cap. Hill's not the best for these tanks. Skorpion G does suffer the same problem. Relatively slow. You know, not bad actually, 20 kilometers an hour, but it does take a little bit to get up the hill. We're going to get some really greedy shit right here. I'm kind of a greedy fuck, trying to get these missions done, so I'm always making sure I get the kills and damage as much as possible. So you're going to see me do a little bit of a... I was hoping that I had enough speed to do this, but didn't quite turn out the way I wanted it. Yeah. So, pulling out here, we got T95, got the Tiger 2. We're pushing over here toward where the Conway was last spotted here. It does work out actually pretty decent little, you know, you can pull it off as a somewhat of a light tank once you get into a bush. Don't fire with that camo rating is ridiculous the way it is. So T95, he's pushing across. Got the Tiger 2. He's being a little bit more, he's actually playing it smart. He's not rushing himself out because we don't know where that Conway went. I'm guessing he's probably along the K line, but he could very well be sitting on the EF2 waiting to ambush anybody coming that way. So on the roll, and we'll see what we can do. T95's like he's just headed straight for that cap. He's not interested in yeah, he's not interested at all. So we got, I'm not even sure how much HP the Conway has. Over the hill we come. Oh, there we go. Found the Conway. He's not paying attention. Oh, damn. And he's got me by reload here. I'm a greedy fuck. So yeah, we spot him, and we get a little bit of damage out of the deal here. Put him down to just a one shot for both of those guys. T95's, I'm not sure what T95's up to, but should be interesting. Here we go. Tiger 2's coming in here. He's Mad Dogs. He's pulling over here. So I'm thinking maybe, possibly, they probably got this. Mocha Man, and the Tiger 2 finishes him off. So nice GG. Like I said, I can't say how much I love this tank when it comes to the stealth. You can pull off some crazy shit with this thing. It does it really well. I mean, once you get into that bush and keep your muzzle blast covered, you can rack up some impressive games in this tank. All right, back with the Skorpion G game. We have a tier 9, bottom tier, not too shabby. I'm playing with X and Catechus. Cad's playing his light tank, and I'm playing, X is playing the Skorpion G. Alright, so we're going to go over here to the little sniper bush and see what we can pull off here. I'm not always terribly sure why some people, these guys get a little carried away. There's no artillery, so I'm not feeling too bad about knocking that tree over. I typically don't like to knock that tree over because that's usually, if I, like I said, I'm an arty player, I have a general idea that somebody's going to get fucking wasted with an artillery shell. AMX-30, they all go up the hill. CAD's up the hill. They all got up there. So there's a T-69. There's a tank coming. You can see all the rubble over there being broke down. So we're just going to wait here and see what happens and what pops. Yep, there comes a T-69. Oh, 698. And you can see, like I said, with that slow shell velocity, how it kind of just went, you know, lazily over to there. The SU-130, it just seems like it's just, like I said, with that quicker shell velocity makes a difference here. So I got a T-34B. He's pushing, maybe, no. Now I'm going to hang out here. One, because this is usually how things end badly for the Abbey. It's nice to have those tanks up there. They have kind of control of the center of the map. But what oftentimes happens is that people stop looking right here, right? AMX-30, the 4190, CAD and John. We'll eventually, if we wait too long here, they'll be over there shooting at stuff going down the other line. And then all of a sudden they'll get a push that'll come right up the 5 line, up the middle, and they'll wreck everybody in the center, and blah, blah, we lose the game. So I have a tendency to be a little bit more, I shouldn't say active here, trying to keep this, make sure that they don't get pushed. I don't want to lose the Abbey for the most part. And you're going to see me camp here. This is kind of a shitty map in general for TDs, except for the 9-0 line. We got the Tort, the FV 4202, and of course the 252. And we have, yeah, X is pointing out the fact that we have a tortoise. Yeah. He's a little upset. So T-44, ooh, just got wrecked by the charioteer. You don't want to push out past too far on the other side because there's TDs just like me sitting there. So I'm just camping the shit out of this bush for a reason. I'm trying to, once again, support my teammate CAD, who's up there. So camo rating, once again, not quite half of what the SU-130PM is, but still pretty, you know, at least for a PM tank, it's not bad. However, it could be a whole lot better. T-69, no. T-34B, here he comes. Type 59 is starting to get pushed by the heavy tank, so we're going to have to relocate here. The traverse speed, of course, is slow on this tank compared to the SU. That's got the SU-130's got a way better traverse speed here. So we're going to pull up in here, and I'm actually stuck out here a little too far here. If I'm gonna shoot, I'm probably going to get spotted, but that's all right here. I'm trying to keep the Type 59 alive as much as possible. Centurion 5-1's moved up here, so let's see what he's going to do. Come on. Yep, T-34 is like, I got this, boys. And he takes one to the knee, knock him down to 478, which is a possible one shot for me here. Nice, like I said, a little bit of reverse speed here. Type 59's moved around to the backside here. Once again, we're just supporting these guys. And let's see if we can get a double bush on this one. We got one little bush ahead of us. Hopefully, that'll work. Type 59 is working him left and right. AMX-30 went down the hill. We got a Skorpion G, now a T-69. Holy shit, we got a fucking... Oh, Nelly, here they all come. So, they finished off the T-34. I got a charioteer, and of course, my two mediums here. So I'm going to see if I can make sure I keep these guys from not getting wrecked. Oh, just a little on the high side here. Centurion 5-1 shows up. Both of these guys are easy one-shots. We'll see if we can make sure this works here. Here comes the... There we go. Put a big shell into the Centurion 5-1. Since that was a kind of a little bit of a double bush there, he didn't actually pick me up. They do know that I'm here now. Skorpion G comes over. There we go. Let's see if we can track him. He's down to a one-shot as well. Just trying to keep these guys alive because we are down 3-4 right now. Come on. Can't quite get in on him fast enough. Reload wasn't there. Yeah. So, Type 69. Or I said T-69. Ooh, and I don't hit the shots. Oh, Zem, I think I might have must have hit part of the house or something. I can't believe I did not get that. AMX-30 finishes off the 69. We got the Patton shows up here now. Oh, there you go. Poke your head around. Unfortunately, we've lost the AMX-30 to the Skoda. He's on the other side. Charioteer comes around the corner. Oh, can't quite get it. Let's work it. Let's work it. Come on. Here comes the Charioteer. He's like, I got this, boys. Ooh, put a 461 into him. Type 59 finishes him off. So we've knocked out just about everything. That's about the time the Skoda comes around the far side. He's been sitting in the back. Back up here a little bit here and see if I can get a shot on him before he gets away. There we go. Put a nice 535 roll into him, and now he's running. So my Type 59 has died. However, we have the Centurion 5.1, the Skorpion G, and the Skoda. I'm not really interested in going after that Skoda. One, for the same fact is that we have the Centurion 5.1 there in the center. There's two. There's a RU-252 and a Tortoise over on that side. I don't really want to deal with that. Skoda has the ability, of course, to probably clip me out if he's fully loaded. Tortoise finally finishes off the Skoda. And, yeah, we're going to get out of here. Around the corner we go. Everybody else is pushed around. The Type 4, the 263, yeah, everybody's there. So the Tortoise is up against the Skoda T50. I thought, well, he should be able to do it by himself. But no, because the Strev is behind him. Centurion 5.1's here. This Strev has moved up as well. So, yeah. And you're probably thinking, oh, why did you run away? Well, there's a reason why I run away. I've seen games like this go to shit pretty quick by simply rushing in and dying relatively quick. So we need to make sure I have enough tanks with me. These tanks, like I said, they don't brawl. So managing your hit points as long as you can is pretty important here. So the Centurion 5.1, he is more interested in shooting those guys. So we're just going to do a little sneaky, pokey, and see if we can knock them in the rear. We got a couple guys over there. Yeah, here we go. Centurion 5.1, the Strev, Skoda, and there we go. What are you doing, buddy? There we go. Finish off the Centurion 5.1. Now we just have the Skoda and the Strev. They're still fucking around with the Tortoise. The Strev finally kills the Tortoise here. Now I have a Strev with me. So, 11:15. I don't have. It's going to take me a while, but with another tank with me, I don't have a problem with this so much. So me and the Strev, we're going to go work this over. Even if I don't, able to kill him, at least I have somebody with me that might be able to. So the Skoda is off, Strev's off. Once again, versatility and the mobility of both these tanks are excellent. Being able to move around the battlefield and relocate all the time. Here we go. So they've already got 2 on cap here. Oh, that's a mess of tanks right there. Ooh, shit. Pull up. Can't quite get that. Ooh, Strev's like, I got this. Put one in his rear for 569. I can't believe it actually rolled that high. It's going to finish him off here. Nope, Type 4 finishes him off. So we just have the Skoda left. Yep, there's the Skoda. Picked him up. He was hanging out on top of that hill. He was trying to shoot the M6. However, I don't think he realized that we were coming here. So Strev is behind me. I do have some support if I do need it. However, the Skoda decides he's just going to go right into the side of the hill here. I do now have the 263 in front of me to help. So we're going to get a little bit brave. I'm going to pull in here, put a nice shell into a 557. Never rolled this fucking high before in my life in this tank. Yeah. So that's the Skorpion G. So once again, if you're not familiar with either one of these tanks, if you're going to buy a premium tier 8 and you don't give a shit about the crew training part of it, I'm sorry, Skorpion G, you are no longer the king of the hill. SU-130PM is the way to go. So with that said, I hope you guys have a good night, and talk to you later.